Aaron Wainwright has been ruled out of Saturday's game, Test 2 against Australia in Melbourne. Rhys Webb banned for 4 years because of doping. Personally, they should probably check everybody on that one, but hey, it is what it is. And the Ospreys have finally decided upon the stadium that they will be moving to from 2025 onwards. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Chip Over the Top Rugby podcast. My name is Ryan. I'm the host here. If you are new, welcome. And if you've been here before, welcome back. All the good stuff. Give this video a thumbs up. It does help the algorithm. And of course, subscribe if you are new. So let's dive in, shall we? Obviously, Aaron Wainwright has been sidelined now. He's probably looking likely, definitely going to miss this game. He's going to miss the Reds game. Although, let's be real, I think the Queensland Reds game was more, like I've said previously, just as sort of a tester, a feeler to kind of try out new people. If Ben Thomas wasn't going to start at 10 previously, he was probably going to start at 10 at that game, or maybe someone like a Jacob Beetham, right? So, Aaron Wainwright out, torn hamstring, out for at least 16 weeks. He's going to miss the start of the URC as well, which is devastating news for the Dragons. Obviously, he was pivotal for them, just a talisman, not only for the Dragons, but obviously for Wales. Probably the best ball carrier that Wales had in the first test against Australia. Dewi Lake obviously up there as well. So with that news, who are we likely going to see put in at number 8? There are obviously calls for a few options. The options are moving Plumtree to the bench, moving Chunza to 6, and then put in, I think it was Botham is an option. James Botham, is an option at 8. And obviously either Mackenzie Martin as well. And personally, if it was me, I would stick, now that we know that Wainwright is injured, obviously there's still waiting on the results because the team announcement got pushed back till tomorrow. That's why I'm making this video now. But it turns out, ladies and gentlemen, that was a lie. My goodness. I thought I was ahead of the game, but I clearly wasn't, right? I was expecting Warren Gatland to announce the team tomorrow. I mean, technically in Australia, it is probably already Thursday, but it is midnight in the UK, right? And he just announced the team. It is 20 past 7 here in the US. Here is the squad, ladies and gentlemen. Look, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm a little bit disappointed, a little bit frustrated, right? Because, I mean, not only with this announcement, but like just the changes on personally what I would have done. So let me just run through the team, right? Obviously, we have now found out that these injuries aren't injuries as clearly based on this squad. So, without further ado, here we go. Gareth Thomas starting, Lucid, Dewi Lake. So, I'm not going to lie to you. I do like the consistency. It is largely unchanged, but I'm a little bit disappointed with the replacements because they're not the replacements that I would have gone with, or I think the direction that we need to go with. Anyway, all right, so like I said, largely unchanged. Gareth Thomas obviously is back fit, so he's good to go. Would have liked to see Domachowski. Dewi Lake captains at hooker. Unchanged tight head with Archie Griffin. Unchanged second row, Chunza Jenkins. I do like that combination. I think that combination is going to be a success for the long term, and obviously we're trying to build on that. I think Chunza needs to step up in this game from a ball carrying perspective. Speaking of ball carrying, back row has obviously been shifted with the Wainwright news. So Botham comes in at blindside, which is good because we needed to slow the ball down, and it was an option that I was thinking about, and it was an option that was obviously available as well. So Botham comes in at 6, and you're thinking, where's Plumtree? Well, Rafael obviously retains his place. Plumtree moves to number 8. He's played there a few times before. This is going to be huge, and I was considering obviously having Botham on the bench and Martin coming in, but obviously, as we know now, Martin is on the bench. Largely unchanged backline. Ellis Bevan at 9. Ben Thomas retains his place at 10, which I think is fantastic, to give him another opportunity. Like, he didn't look out of place. I think going into this test now, he's probably going to be a bit more elusive, try a few different things, because we know he can handle that position and that role well. I do want to see a bit more playmaking options with him, like we do with Cardiff. Rio Dyer keeps his position on the wing. This is where I'm a little bit annoyed. Mason Grady remains at 12. Owen Watkins at 13. I would have liked to seen a switch there, or bring someone else in at 12, move Grady to 13. Hathaway's ruled out. He is injured, unfortunately, which means Liam Williams comes into 14, which leaves the 15 spot open, and Cam Winnett comes in. So I'm not annoyed by that. I do like Cam Winnett. I obviously, now looking at the bench, I'm like, okay, Nick Tompkins can't cover every single position. So what if there's an injury? Well, obviously, hopefully, if it's an injury to, centre, then obviously we can jig things around and Tompkins can come in and play his central role. But when Tompkins had to come in and we had to move Hathaway to fullback on the weekend, that was where kind of things got a little bit complicated. So yeah, it's Gareth Thomas, Dewi Lake, Archie Griffin, Shunza, Jenkins, Botham, Rafael, Plumtree, Ellis Bevan, Ben Thomas, Rio Dyer, Mason Grady, Owen Watkins, Liam Williams, Cam Winnett. I literally just had to write this down. I'm trying to do a shop here, but obviously this is priority. Replacements largely unchanged again. Evan Lloyd will replace Dewi Lake if that is required. Kemsley Matthias will replace Gareth Thomas. A little bit frustrated not to see Domachowski. He spoke to Domachowski earlier, actually. He's like, are you injured? He said no, just haven't been selected, so I'm not entirely sure what's going on. Harry O'Connor, tight head replacement. I did not want to see Corey Hill in the 23, but he's in there. It is what it is, I suppose, at this point. Mackenzie Martin on the bench. Really excited to see him get on. And then an unchanged backs replacements: Kieran Hardy, Sam Costello, Nick Tompkins. Again, I'm not entirely sure why Beetham's not in there. I would love to see the utility back option in there. Scotland does it so well with Blair Kinghorn. We need someone who can play multiple positions. Obviously, Kieran Hardy would come in at 9, Costello would come in at 10, and then maybe, depending on sort of how things are, if necessary, we could maybe see Ben Thomas move to 12, Owen Watkins coming off, Mason Grady to 13, or whatever. I don't know, whatever sort of play around it is. So I can't be mad. Largely unchanged. It's good to get the consistency. I do think the game was closer. Obviously, Wales did lose. This is a must-win game now in the second test. And I think this squad is capable. They were very capable on the weekend, but unfortunately that haywire kick from Hathaway led to the late try from Australia. Obviously, the disallowed driving more, with Dewi Lake coming in at the side and in front of the player, obstructing him. So I do think this squad is capable of winning. Like I said, I'm a little bit disappointed in the options that have been picked in terms of other players who I'd have liked to have seen. But yeah, so that is the squad. Back to the other video, shall we? Yeah, the other news that broke today, which was pretty crazy: Rhys Webb banned for 4 years for testing positive for growth hormone, which I personally think is crazy, because look, I've been in the personal training world, I've been in the fitness world since I was 19, right? I've been involved in gyms, the gyms that I trained at, the Wales under-20s players, some who are playing now, some who have gone and been through the Welsh setup. They were open about it. It is what it is. I don't think it's uncommon knowledge. It's just unfortunate that he got tested positive for it. You could arguably go through any professional game, any professional sport, and find it. It is what it is. Unfortunate. This will probably end his career. He had a good run, right? Unfortunate, to go out like this. Maybe he'll end up playing Division 2 French rugby at 38 and still still do well, or we might see him over here in the US, ladies and gentlemen, in the Major League Rugby, and he might be the next Ma Nonu, who is still going, by the way, at 42 years old for San Diego Legion. Pretty impressive, if you ask me. And then finally, in the other news that I wanted to talk about, the Ospreys have selected the St. Helens ground, which is where Swansea RFC play, which, you know, I think is good. It kind of, when you look at I'll put it on the screen now for you, but if you look at the concept, it kind of reminds me of Rodney Parade, you know, the Newport Dragons stadium area, which I think will be pretty good. The only, you know, obviously the downside to it is you are massively reducing the capacity. But again, I think that's what Welsh Rugby is at right now. I mean, trying to fill 20,000 seats plus at the Ospreys games, when I went in November, it was just, the atmosphere wasn't the best because it wasn't a full stadium. Like, you look at the Arms Park, when that is absolutely jam-packed. When Cardiff played the Stormers, for example, the game that I went to, the atmosphere was electric. It was incredible. Obviously, being in Cardiff, the capital of Wales, also made a massive difference as well with that. So, yeah, I think it's a good position. I think it's a good move for them. Obviously, you know, they've got 1 year remaining at the Swansea.com stadium. So, yeah, let me know your thoughts on that team. This Friday, possibly going to see USA against Scotland. Scotland just announced their squad and they have gone all out, apart from a few players, but it's not going to be even close. The game is in Washington, D.C. on Audi Field, so it's about an hour away from where I live. But yeah, I mean, USA lost to Romania last weekend, so it's going to be a very tough night for USA on Friday against Scotland, considering Scotland absolutely gave Canada a drubbing the week prior as well. So yeah, let me know your thoughts. Thank you very much for watching. I do very much appreciate it. Make sure all the good stuff, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will catch you very, very soon, probably tomorrow or Friday, with the official Wales v Australia Test 2 squad announcement. So without further ado, I will see you very, very soon. Peace.